So I got a theory.
All right.
A lot of people, as if kids these days, if you will,
kids these
really,
days, indeed.
Yeah, I hate kids these days, man. They're I would argue a lot, or most all of them, are addicted to the internet and technology in a semi-unhealthy format.
Yeah, I can
We
back
agree
that.
on that.
I mean, I
think there are a lot of people
I can
that
understand
their
that
life
is
revolves-
the premise that we're working under for the purpose of this argument. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also think sometimes people's, their life revolves a little bit too much around like constantly having need of that technology. And
I'll
sometimes I like
accept
to
that.
distance myself from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to take a day off in the woods, if you will.
Yeah.
But it's hard also, because it is very useful and a very, important. So I'm always like, even if I try and like be off my phone for the day, I'm always going to check it every once in a while.
Right.
But who never checks their phones?
Who?
Crackheads. So I'm saying kids these days should stop being addicted to, these screens and their iPads and their phones and start being addicted to crack cocaine.
I want to be angry, but I can't see any flaw here.
Exactly.
It's a spicy take.
That's why my kids are going to get 2 hours of screen time a week and 4 hours of crack time a day.
I mean, in theory, it might even help them with their schoolwork.
As long as they have a steady source of crack.
Can you
Because
afford
really the
the
biggest
crack?
problem most crackheads, sure. If I only have like one kid, it'll be okay.
Do you know how expensive
It costs like $1 million. It's not that expensive. It costs like $1 million to raise a kid. It does not cost $1 million to give your kid crack until they die.
So I see you also won't be vaxxing them.
Well, I mean, no point,
If you're just going to kill them with crack cocaine.
I also do want to go on record saying I am now an anti-vaxxer. Not because I think vaccines are like useless and I'm stupid, but instead because I just don't like kids and I know I'm immune to it, so fuck them.
I mean, honestly, I can back that.
Like they can't give me polio, so why do I care?
Can't give. Man, what a way to look at life. Just
Thank you.
no. I wanna disagree with it, but it just. I mean, really, you hate kids. It really just kind of works.
Yeah, I think there's one change in my life that has brought upon these spicy takes.
Is it your
It's
new
the
clothing?
jean jacket. It's the jean jacket that I
jean
bought.
jacket? You know
I
what?
got a denim jacket on right now. I'm wearing the Canadian tuxedo. I'm not going to lie to you folks.
Now, if you look on the screen right now, if you're watching the video version, you can see side by side Glow Up Jackson versus
Yes.
Jacksonium. And you can tell there's a clear superior aura that the jean jacket just gives off. You can already tell he's a sophisticated dude.
Old Jackson, scruffy hair, beard. New Jackson, short hair, no beard, jean jacket.
You know what?
And this is like a couple hours ago. So like this is still, I think it's kind of a new day, new me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be more angry about this, but you know what, Jackson, I'm just proud of you for having some self-reflection and deciding that who you are on the inside is the kind of person who wears a jean jacket.
Guess how much I paid for this jean jacket?
I genuinely
guess
I'm gonna be
$35.
angry at whatever answer you give me.
All right, Noah said 35. Dan, give me a guess. Give me a number.
25.
36.
$12, boys.
Oh, yes.
This is a $12 jean jacket.
That's fantastic.
I also bought some new shoes today.
Oh, nice.
They are rose quartz colored Vans. They're super slick.
I was actually talking about Vans with a friend of mine today. Well, not today, last night.
Talking about my jean jacket.
Is it the friend that was hanging out with us over the
It
weekend?
whiz. And I'll expand
It
upon
whiz.
that part
Cool.
later. It whiz.
Hello,
But
it
we were
was.
talking about sneakerheads and how we didn't really understand sneakerheads. But then I was like, but like a Chuck or like a Van or a Vans, Chucks and Vans, they're cheap enough. You can buy a selection of them and have all kinds of fun colors without breaking the bank. Like if you bought like 6 different like J's, you're out like over $1,000. You buy like 20 different Vans, you're down like $30.
Vans are still pretty
Vans
expensive.
I know.
Vans are like
I
50.
was gonna say you're talking Vans. Vans are expensive as hell. There's a reason I don't wear them.
Vans and Converse are both like $50.
They're $50 now.
Yeah,
Really?
Vans are like 60. Converse are like 50.
Okay, so
Converse
last
are a little bit
time
cheaper
I
than
bought
Vans.
Converse, they were $20.
yeah.
Were they like name brand? Like
Yeah.
Were they on sale?
they were probably on sale.
I mean,
They
I
had to
will
have
be
been on some
honest,
kind of clearance sale.
I've probably never paid full price for shoes in my life because
hell yeah.
I don't care that much.
I did get these shoes at a slightly discounted price. So I got these Vans for like 50, but it's still a lot of money for shoes.
Yeah, man.
Vans are nice.
I don't see. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I used to work at a place that sold Vans. And the problem is that in my mind they're tainted by as you call them, sneakerheads, and like the only people I can think of that wear Vans are people who think they need to wear Vans to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Except for apparently Jackson, but whatever.
I need the jean jacket to be cool. The Vans don't hurt though.
Exactly. And like, I know that's unfair, but at the same time, part of it is also they've always been wildly out of my price range and seemed like shoes have never been a fashion choice for me, more as a I need something to put on my feet because my old pair have fallen apart kind of thing. So
honestly, for me, shoes have kind of been a fashion thing since I was in like middle school. It's always been like, I think once I started wearing like Toms and like Chucks for the first time, I was like, all right, now I got like a bit of like I see shoes as more of just like less than like a sneakerhead would where they're like that's their life. But it's a little bit more than just like feet coverings for me.
That's fair. And to be clear, I mean, I feel like you should have some pride in the clothing you put on your body. This isn't me bashing you specifically for your shoe choices.
You're a coward because it's not, but I'll accept it.
You're a coward.
You're a coward. Alex Jones, he lives in the same city as me. Yikes.
Not for long.
Not for long.
Freaking crazy.
I don't know if you mentioned it on the podcast, and now I feel bad.
Speaking of Alex Jones,
no.
I am Noah. You're listening to...
I was going to do that too.
Oh, good job, guys.
Nice.
I'm proud of both of you. I was going to let him just suffer in ignorance. I'm Dan.
And Jackson was going to do that too.
Yeah, Jackson was going to do that too. I love the jean jacket, by the way.
I mean, of course.
Jackson, the guy with the jean jacket. Can that be how you introduce yourself now? Is that...
Yeah, totally. I will just now start doing that.
Fair.
Hi, it's me, Jean Jacket Jackson.
Ooh, don't like that.
Not Jean Jackson. It's actually Denim Jackson is what I go by.
Denim J, if you really want to be like hip and down with the kids.
Wouldn't that just be DJ?
I'm not down with the kids. That's what I started this episode off by talking about. How undown with the kids I was.
You know what? That's actually a fair point. So I'm going to grace us with a beer corner tonight. Because one of the things Dan and I did over the last week was we went to PAX East up in Boston.
We did.
And as soon as a friend of mine realized I was in Boston, he hit me up on Facebook and he's like, hey, how long are you in Boston? Because there's a brewery there, Trillium Brewery, that it's really hard for me to get their IPAs and I would really like some. So the dude had me pick up 6 packs of beer for him, 6
Nice.
4-packs, so it's not like, oh my gosh, look at all that beer. But it was still like, it was $100 in beer. And I picked up some for myself, which is the Galaxy Dry Hopped Fort Point Pale Ale. It's really...
How do you feel about this pale ale?
I actually really like it. It's I like grapefruit a lot, and there's like this grapefruit undertone in this. So one of the things I don't always like about IPAs is I feel like they taste like tobacco, and not in like a bad way, but I just feel like that's the flavor I always feel like I pick up with IPAs. And sometimes sometimes I don't mind it. And then sometimes I drink a double IPA by accident. I'm like, ooh, that's a little too much.
Too much ice for your PA?
Exactly. But this one is actually a really, really smooth one. And just the citrus is, I don't know. I love any beer that has like citrus in it that isn't a citrus beer.
It's fair. I can back that.
It's very nice. It's very smooth. If you happen to either be in the Boston area or if you end up in the Boston area or anywhere that Trillium beers are sold, I would recommend checking them out. I would say they're very worth your time.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Yeah,
Drink
Trillium
it.
Brewing Company.
Trillium beers. Don't taste that much like tobacco.
Well, I have one of the lighter ones. I'm sure other ones taste a
Might
little stronger.
taste like tobacco.
Exactly.
Speaking of tobacco, I have been smoking some clove cigarettes lately.
Clove cigarettes?
Yeah, like a true jean jacket owner.
I didn't expect the jean jacket to get into your life that quickly.
Oh, no, it's not like a jean jacket. The jean jacket's a today thing. Also, Dan is completely correct in assuming.
Like, I assume
assume
that the moment he was put on a jean jacket, that was his entire identity.
No, see, it's the clove cigarettes that made the jean jacket happen, probably.
That's probably true.
That seems like a stretch.
Because I just found them and they're cool and they have a black wrap. They have like a black wrapping paper on them, which is extra metal.
Actually, I really do love the aesthetic of black wrapped cigarettes.
Oh, yeah. They're super neato. I mean, in the context, I'm not like a smoker. I just go through about a pack of cigarettes every month or two.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's for when you need your sad time cigarette or your contemplative cigarette, right?
Basically. Usually it'll be when I'm like with a friend and they're like smoking, or like if I'm outside like drinking coffee or something.
I'll be honest, the fact that you just said outside drinking a coffee and smoking just cemented this image in my head that like that jean jacket, I'm never going to be able to picture you without it now. It's just there.
Usually I'm
part of you.
like one of those big like high neck sweaters.
Mm-hmm. With a scarf or something maybe. I guess if you have a high neck sweater, you don't need a scarf.
That's true, yeah. I'll have like a high neck sweater and like a beanie, and I'll just be Jay chilling, drinking some coffee, and every once in a while smoking a clove cigar. It's about like once a week or so. They're technically branded as cigars, not cigarettes, because clove cigarettes are illegal in the U.S.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
But why?
Because
Because
the US is on some dumb shit.
Well, because they were perceived as being sweet and making kids want to smoke, which was true. They were like very popular among like, middle school kids.
Yeah.
So they banned them, and then like 10 years later, they invented like Juuls.
I was just about to say, so not
like,
unlike the Wiley Juul Pod.
I was going to say, what can we do to make smoking taste literally like cotton candy?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how do you guys feel about Juul Pods? Because like,
Juuls are the dumbest things ever.
I think they're more of a meme than anything.
I apologize. I should have been more clear. I didn't mean how do you feel about like Juul Pods in the context of like e-cigarettes as a whole, that kind of thing. I meant specifically like, the controversy around like the flavors and stuff.
Oh, I think that's the dumbest thing.
Okay.
Because of it, no one came at vaping for the exact same flavors. It's just that Juul Pods are easier for kids to steal.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's true. Also, Juuls are super fucking stupid because anyone who's ever owned a Juul has never had it for more than 6 seconds.
Because they misplace it or because they blow
Everyone
up?
I've ever talked to is like, yo, bro, you know where my Juul charger's at? No, I don't fucking know where your Juul charger's at. Just learn how to smoke a cigarette or something. Shut the fuck up.
You know
I
what?
hate Juuls.
I respect that.
They're every single one of my friends, like, I brought my Juul charger with me and I can't find it anymore. Probably because someone else stole it because they lost their Juul charger because someone else stole theirs. You guys are a whole bunch of hood rats smoking a shitload of nicotine and you're wondering why your life is in shambles.
Actually, that is the one thing that, like, Juuls that I specifically have against them is that they do have a lot of nicotine.
They have a lot of nicotine.
And if it weren't for that, I literally couldn't care less about them. But since they, like, you're not going to find a Juul without nicotine in it. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, they do pack the nicotine into those bad boys.
Mm-hmm.
And, so it just like creates like the thing is if you start like using a Juul and then you start like vaping afterwards, you're going to find yourself like vaping a shitload because of like how much nicotine you need to actually like be sated.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
because like if you're using 2 Juul pods a day, that's the same amount of nicotine as like almost 2 packs of cigarettes. So like if you're using 2 Juul pods a day, which is like one of those little packages they sell, you're basically smoking 2 packs a day.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
In case you aren't clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the thing about going through that on a Juul is not too hard to go through.
No, not at all. Juuls are easy to just like zit, 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 zit.
Yeah.
Is that the sound they make?
Maybe. I don't know. I've actually not had one in person.
Fair enough.
They don't make any sound.
I hang out with adults who do not use Juuls.
God, I wish I did too.
But to bounce away from Juuls real quick, I would love to talk about the reason that Dan and I were in Boston.
Didn't we already say? I'm pretty sure we literally just said.
Did we say? Well, okay, we were in Boston for PAX East.
Yeah,
just in case I didn't say PAX East already.
You definitely said it.
I might have. I don't.
But it's okay. It's okay. To be clear, Noah is running on very little sleep and a very lot of driving.
Yeah. I just got home today.
Yeah.
I got home. It is midnight right now. I got home at 5:30 p.m.
That's not bad, actually.
No, not at all. But then I had about 2 hours to rest, and then I had to run into town and do some haircuts for some people that I put off last week and had to do now.
Fair enough.
It was a less than wise decision on my part.
That sounds like you,
I'm
correct?
Here, and I'm asleep in my own bed, and it's going to be great.
I gotta say, that is the best part about being back, is that,
I mean, I think I'm the only one that liked the beds at the Airbnb.
I mean, I didn't hate them. I didn't like the fact that I had no freaking pillows. Which,
I had like 6 of those bad boys.
I know. Which we all yelled at you for as we were leaving, because I did an idiot check on all the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Which apparently is not a common term, and I thought it was, but whatever.
I've never heard it called an idiot check. I've heard it called like a final check. So it's not like,
Okay. Well, you get the idea. It's the check you do before you go out of a building or wherever you happen to be to make sure you have everyone has all their shit.
Yeah.
Or in this case, to make sure no one was an idiot. Anyway, and I just happened to go in Noah's room for the first time since arriving and like look on the floor, and man has got like 4 pillows on the floor, 2 more on the bed. And I'm over here like, dude, my girlfriend and I had 2 pillows between the two of us.
In my defense, 4 of those were decorative pillows.
That they were still pillows. Decorative pillows.
Yeah, but decorative pillows are not the same.
They aren't.
Not
but they're still sleepable. Like you can still use them.
I was like, hey man, toss me a pillow, and you threw me a decorative pillow, I would leave wherever we were at.
That's fair.
I would too. I can respect that.
I was just vaguely hurt and mostly confused.
Yeah. So anyway, the main point I'm trying to come into is
yes. Sorry.
Nice.
PAX was fine. I've been to like hair conventions, so PAX was basically just like that but bigger. There were even people cutting hair there, which was freaking wild to me.
I didn't even catch them.
Yeah, there was
cool.
one little hair booth, and then there were like some massage tables. It was like a hey, take care of yourself booth.
Where were those? Where were they? Hold
Thank
on.
God,
what?
nerds need that.
I know, right? No, it was like a bunch of stuff, and it was free, and I thought it was actually kind of neat. But the big thing I was the most excited about was meeting my internet friends in person for the first time.
Yeah, boy.
And I'll be honest, I was a little bit apprehensive because, I'd never done that before. And there's just a little bit of hesitation when it comes to meeting people for the first time, when it's like, you know what? I don't want this to ruin the friendship we have going on, because what if you're just the worst in person? And I'm very happy to say that none of them were the worst in person. It was actually... Oh, huh?
That's my secret, Cap. I'm the worst in prison and on the internet.
Yeah, yep. You are. But no, they were actually all like a really decent group of people. And I had a absolute blast and would love to do it again next year.
I mean, just on the like people front, not even talking about the actual con itself, because I would love to go in on that in a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I knew most of the people. I had met about half of them beforehand. I kind of was the organizer, for lack of a better word.
No, I think you can definitely say the organizer. The ringleader.
I was going to say ringleader, and then I felt you were going to give me shit for it, so did not do that. Anyway, yeah, so I was the organizer, and it was a great time. We had this Airbnb that was actually really nice for the price point that it was at. There were 10 of us, I think. There were originally 11, then 2 people left and one came back in. All the people that I've known on there for at least 3 or 4 years, and only about half of them have I gotten to meet in person. But it was a blast. Yeah, I was a little worried about 1 or 2 people, and lo and behold, those 1 or 2 people did cause some issues here and there, but everything worked out in the end, and that's the important thing, you know. Everyone had a good time, which as the person ostensibly putting the whole shit show together in terms of like getting us there and getting us situated, making sure that everyone had a good time was like really all I cared about.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Fun story about PAX.
Sure. Yeah, fire away.
I went to PAX in, I want to say 2013 or 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the first time I met my friend Zane.
Mm-hmm.
And Zane and I have since been friends. We usually hang out once or twice a year for like a week or so. And then he's actually getting married in October, and I'm going to be in the wedding.
Aww.
Yo, that's awesome.
So that's
very, very
exciting
cool.
story about internet friends.
How did so Noah, because you're my goals for the con were very specific. Like I pretty much did all the things I wanted to do while I was there. What did you guys think of? Like what was your experience? Like give us the PAX breakdown. What did you do? What were you about?
My PAX breakdown?
Yes.
Okay,
no,
so
Jackson's PAX breakdown. Yes, your PAX breakdown.
I went to PAX knowing that I wanted to visit the Cyanide and Happiness booth because I wanted to get my Kickstarter copy of Joking Hazard signed by Rob.
Okay.
And I did that, so that was neat. And my other goal was wander around, see if I could play some games, and see what was new. And every now and then I would get a message from someone saying, hey, try and meet up with this person. And sometimes I did, and sometimes I didn't. I did manage to hit up a couple of booths for people that told me to check it out. So that was also a plus. But when I go to cons, I just like wandering the floor and taking in as much as I can.
That's fair.
And I did that for about 6 hours. And to be fair, I only needed about 4 because after that, I was just kind of killing time. But I also had to kill time so that I could get in line for the Cyanide booth so I wouldn't miss Rob.
Mm-hmm,
so there were other things I could definitely have been doing at that time that I ended up just having to like chill near the booth.
Yeah, I get you.
But it worked out. I got...
Holy shit.
Yo, what happened?
Toby Fox tweeted about fingers in his ass?
He did. Literally,
Holy
best
shit.
April Fools. I just wish April Fools
That's not
had been
April Fools, man.
Well,
that's real life.
I just wish he had done it yesterday, so it was fingers in his ass Sunday.
I don't think this is the real Toby Fox, though.
Is it? I don't know.
Maybe.
I just saw it on Twitter and I immediately thought of you and I'm like,
no, I'm excited about Fingers in His Ass being tweeted by any account at all.
Oh yeah, maybe it isn't really Toby
It does
Fox.
look like or like an alt account, but I'm still excited that anyone would tweet out Fingers in His Ass on any day. Now, it's a Lord's Day type of thing, but I also continue what you're going. I do want to say, I didn't just say that out of nowhere. Noah literally tagged me in that as we're recording the episode. So...
Because Noah's
I didn't just say that unprompted.
Attention. You said that unprompted, completely interrupting whatever the hell Noah was talking about. Just like, nah, Noah, fuck you. Hear me out.
My phone buzzes, so I look at it, and it's just Twitter mentioned by Noah. I click on it. Toby Fox, Fingers in His Ass. I'm like, nice.
I tagged you in a couple of things today.
You did, but not all we were recording.
No. I tagged you in one earlier that a friend of mine really just wants to have Suzuki Joe come to her birthday party.
Oh, dude, I want to have Suzuki Joe read my eulogy.
Oh, yeah. I want to see ya in a Kia. Joe, this is a funeral. Oh.
Well, I still want to see ya in a Kia.
Lowers a Kia into the ground with Jackson in the front seat.
Is there any chance we could get Suzuki Joe on the show?
We've talked about doing that before.
I feel like we couldn't sit down and do stuff, but if you and I tracked him down and just did ambush podcasting with him, I think we could make it happen.
Like a video.
Oh my God, Suzuki Joe. And then we shove a microphone in his face and we're like, say the line, Suzuki.
No, I wouldn't do that. I would just be like, Suzuki Joe, we're a big fan. Can we get a quick interview? And he'd be like, what?
I'm sorry, I have fans?
Well, how hard would it be to find him?
I feel like there's no way you can find him and have it not come across as a tiny bit creepy, unless it's literally at whatever store he's in.
He literally says where to find him in every single commercial.
But he works at the
dealership he owns, I think.
Yeah, but besides that dealership, I don't think you could find him anywhere. And I don't. Again, these are ads that you guys keep talking about. I do not remember. For the people who are relatively newer, Suzuki Joe is supposedly an
eerie icon.
That sure
a hero.
No, here, Jackson. Let's recreate an ad real quick. I'll be the DJ. You be Suzuki Joe.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
I'm very honored.
All right. Now on the phone we got Suzuki Joe of Suzuki Superstore. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing good here today.
Hey, that's great, Joe. So, what type of stuff you got going on in deals?
So, Off-Road Express Suzuki, we've got new Yamaha 4x4s for only $99.49.
Well, that's a pretty great deal.
Yeah, stop by Off-Road Express and see me, Suzuki Joe. And remember, we want to see ya in a Kia.
Dan, I cannot believe that does not ring any sort of bell.
Nothing.
Yeah, they stage these ads to make it sound like he's having an improv radio discussion on the phone. So they're just all right, we're gonna have one guy who's not even a DJ, just a guy be a voice actor and talk normally, and we're gonna put Suzuki Joe on the lowest audio quality we can find, and we're gonna record that.
You know that the audition telephone filter?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes,
that is exactly what he sounds like.
Amazing.
He's speaking, and you can just hear his face pushing against the microphone. It's just rub, rub, rub.
It's the worst thing.
That sounds awful. I won't lie to you.
So also something that came out recently.
Yeah, what happened?
Risk of Rain 2.
I did see that.
I saw that.
A release and a drop on the same. It's I think it was on the same day.
It was
early access still.
Did you guys play the original Risk of Rain?
Yeah, I played a lot of it actually.
I did not. It always seemed like something kind of it kind of had a Terraria, but if Terraria was only the boss fights kind of feel to it. Am I totally off on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw the previews and stuff like that, so I put it on my Steam wish list. And then I noticed recently it is no longer on Steam to buy, which makes me sad.
Risk of Rain 2?
Rain. No, Risk of Rain.
Risk of Rain 1.
No, I think it should be.
No.
Why not?
I mean,
what they do?
It might have changed. Anyone who still has it can keep it. To the best of my knowledge, it is not there anymore. It at least would not let me buy it from my wish list. It did not list a price.
Let me get to the bottom of this. I got Steam open right now.
Yeah, I'm popping it up right now as well.
I just opened mine as well.
All right.
It says Risk of Rain $9.99.
Maybe you just have an older version of it. Maybe you have it when it was in early. Maybe you wishlist it when it was in early access or something.
You know what?
Yeah,
here's Risk of Rain 2.
Which I gotta say,
back at this
really cool that a company decided, we're making a whole new version of the game. Whatever. What if we just made it 3D instead of 2D this time around? I think it's a really interesting. Usually a game would just be the same thing, but more and better kind of thing. But they were like, nah, literally a new dimension.
Oh, is it 3-dimensional now?
Yeah, it is.
And not just
which is
the graphics?
which is really cool. Yeah.
I don't know if I like that. I really love 2D pixel games.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
but you're wrong. So
I mean, that's fair. Shoot.
I don't
Okay,
think
never
you're
mind.
wrong.
It does
I
look
just
really
like the
good.
direction they're taking.
no,
it in.
I don't. Yeah, I do not
'Cause
think you're wrong in
it
this case. I just think
looks
that
like almost a remake of sorts.
yeah,
It's kind of
'Cause
like
the
if Risk of
characters are all
Rain
the
was
same.
like 40 years old, and this would be its cool new remake.
yes,
Yeah, it's kind of like a hey, let's instead of making a sequel, because the game doesn't really have sequel opportunity.
No,
yeah, it's
yeah.
just more
Because
bosses.
the game is like it's not really spoilers because there's no story, but it's like you just run through different levels and then you get to the final boss and you kill the final boss and then your group flies away to safety to the home planet.
Or do they?
They do.
Oh, okay.
I really,
And this
oh,
of
I
course
like
the game would be
this.
like it's a true sequel. You land on another planet, but this one also has
the
a
exact same
nefarious
problem.
organization. Yeah, like because like there's a reason you're there in the first place. Like the guy, like the ship main villain or something, like crash landed you there.
Mhm.
I mean, they could try and recycle it, but I'm glad they went with like just a reimagining because it looks really cool.
Yeah, it,
It
does.
really
I
does.
actually was considering picking it up. I won't because I'm poor and I'm not going to be able to guarantee that I'll be able to play it for any amount of time. But I really like the styling of
Alright.
it.
Just pick it up right now. Overwhelmingly 97% approval rating on 6,952 reviews in 3 days.
Yeah, but I honestly, the fact that it has such a high approval rating in so little time makes me like nervous because high approval, like a lot of games will get really high approval ratings out the gate and then over time start to plummet because of one thing or another that they did.
And a lot of games will get really high approval rating off the start and then maintain it because they're really good games.
That is also
I'm
very
a
possible,
huge
and I'm
fan
not.
of
I'm not
their-
going to make a claim on the quality of this game because I don't know. I don't know
I'm
things.
just
I
looking at
messaged a
this.
friend of mine.
Oh yeah,
It's
go
very
ahead.
good.
I'm looking at this.
I messaged a friend of mine who it's actually not a canoe who was on the stream or on the podcast before. And I was like, yo,
Oh.
you got Risk of Rain 2, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you want to play it? And he said, yes, it's very fun and good.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks really, really neat.
I speaking
big
of games
excited.
at PAX. Okay, I got a
Wait,
really
wait.
neat. Oh,
Ew.
or not,
I
that's
need
fine.
to say what I want to say here.
Go ahead. Sorry, bud.
Say what
Risk
you
of
need
Rain
to
2 developer update from March 30th is holy moly, holy moly. That's like the first line is like just the right angle, holy moly.
Amazing.
Well, yeah, because this game is popping off.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, understandably, like we said, it was a very popular. The base game was extremely popular. Like it makes total sense.
It's true. I have 22 friends who own it on Steam, the original.
Christ.
So, I mean, yeah, it's...
I have two friends who already own the game, and I only know who one of them is. I don't know who this other dude is.
Yeah, the
am
first
I
one...
I thought I owned it.
No, number 2.
Oh, yeah, the first one, 93%
Oh.
positive reviews out of 16,500.
Christ, that's a few.
That's... Yeah, that's crazy. And
That's
yeah,
a couple.
I have like 40 hours in it.
That's a couple of hours.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun game.
Yeah.
I remember the biggest problem with it and the thing that would have made it like a mixed review from me would have been the online was borderline impossible to get working, and you had to use like Hamachi and set up like you had to like port forward and apparently they have gotten rid of that in the second game, so it's just invite your friends and they join the game.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, which I think was really cool. I thought that was really
Yeah.
good. Kind of,
But I think the whole like Hamachi based thing that was really not big, but indie games like relied on that so heavily like 5 years ago.
yeah,
Now, I'm not
absolutely. they did.
familiar with that term.
So
go for it. Yep,
Hamachi
it's all
is a
you.
service in which like it's basically port forwarding made simple, and in order to play an online game, it artificially. So let's say there's a game that's like you can have 2 players, but they have to be on the same local network. Hamachi is basically a device that's like, hey, we can make you guys appear on the same network so you can play together.
Yeah, that.
But it causes like a lot of lag, and it's super hard to work around. And, like it's just.
And
it's,
sometimes it works great, and a
annoying.
lot of times it does not.
Mm-hmm. And so you had this service that everyone was relying on to play like all these indie games, and yeah, it was really shitty. And they have since developers have had a much easier time getting access to like actual lobby systems, because for years it was like the big companies had like a monopoly on it. They were like,
Yeah.
we've got really good lobbies. That's kind of a great thing about us.
Well, and
Like Terraria used to be like you had to use Hamachi to get into it.
yep, which
it was a nightmare.
I think Steam was kind of the reason that that's not a thing anymore is that because so many games are just connected via Steam server now.
That's true. Yeah,
Not all,
Steam
obviously, but
really out here for them indie devs.
sometimes when they're not actively trying to fuck them over.
Man, this game looks so good.
Yeah, it looks very
Just
good.
like watching it. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm probably gonna get it and then
And then play it endlessly.
not endlessly. I'm probably
For
gonna play like 20 hours or so.
oh, is that all?
Yeah, but it's the kind of game that I can imagine. Like I have the reviews. I hold them a little bit better than like a game that would be hours long, because you can beat an entire campaign of Risk of Rain in like 45 minutes.
Okay.
Because it's a roguelike, so it's like a...
It's intended to
You
be pretty
know,
short, yeah.
Yeah, and in fact, the game actually, the original one, I don't know about this one, but it heavily incentivized going fast, because the longer you played the game, the harder like the difficulty setting went.
That's cool.
So like if you were like 10 minutes into the game, it was on like easy mode, and like 15 minutes it went to like medium. There were like 30 levels that it went through, and the last one was like, oh god, please. There was like difficulties like, oh god, they're coming. Please, no, not like this.
That's amazing. I've always loved that in games when they give the difficulty levels really fun names. Unless there are games that do it, and then it's like, well, I literally have no clue what difficulty I'm actually playing on.
Yeah.
Why are you useless to me right now?
Yeah, it was crazy because it was like the game worked really well, and it had a meter that would just like slowly fill up, and it would just like you could see like the easiest difficulty, and it would just like keep going down the list and like
That's
slowly
really cool.
filling, so you were like pressured against the clock, which I think was a good touch.
Yeah, that is good. That is
I
very
actually
good.
like
Actually.
that a lot. That's a really
And it
neat
made it
idea.
hard to outscale it, because like the games like The Binding of Isaac, you can outscale pretty easily.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you know, you get a couple damage items and you can just win the run with no help.
yeah.
But like Risk of Rain, it's like you can get like a couple good items, and then you got to just kind of book it to try and get to the end before it gets too hard.
That's very cool. That is
it
very
was
cool.
neat.
Yeah, I'm
I don't know how
excited.
this
I'm
works,
excited for
so.
that game. Well, I'm excited to not be able to play it and then watch all my friends have a great time with it. Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
Does look
Except
exciting.
for that part.
That part doesn't sound too much fun.
It's it's okay. It is what
All
it
right,
is.
well, I'm glad I'm glad you'll be okay. I was worried for a
I
minute there.
mean, I won't be, but you know what? I'll live, and that's basically being okay, right?
Well, I think so, more or less.
Speaking of,
Another pack.
go for it.
I'll go for it. Oh man.
It's all you, man.
Another PAX development was Borderlands 3.
Oh yeah.
I am indifferent about pretty much
yeah,
entirely.
same
I was
actually.
gonna say I didn't even watch the trailer.
Okay, I'm glad we're all on the same.
I watched the trailer and I
Borderlands
liked what I saw. Here's
I heard
the
there's
problem.
guns with legs.
There are guns with
Yeah,
legs.
Borderlands
There are in
is a
fact
fine
that.
game with painfully unfunny writing.
I don't
Hot
even
take.
agree that it's unfunny. I think that it relies very heavily on a very specific subset of humor. Like it's a very specific kind of humor that appears in that game, and
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
it
100
just-
percent on board with it.
But it just like it's the same thing just battered down your throat over and over again. Like it's a bit old.
Yeah, I get that. Here's my thing is pretty much just I don't really like Borderlands games. I know it's blasphemous at best, but I think they're fine. I just don't think they're like amazing. And part of that
Yeah.
is just that like I'm not a huge fan of like looter shooter kind of games. And like the story is, let's be honest, the story in those games matters very little.
So I actually greatly enjoy looter shooters.
Mm-hmm.
You would love Risk of Rain.
See, my only issue, literal only issue, is that I have started a new Borderlands account so many times.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you knew this, but Borderlands had such an awful time syncing with Steam's cloud service.
Yep, it did.
That
Still
when
does.
I had to restart my Borderlands 2 file more than like 6 times.
Yep.
Which is absolutely just mind-numbingly difficult to get through the first few missions after you've played them like that many times.
I totally get that. Yeah.
Flip side, I could still play Borderlands 1 over and over again because I feel like its opening was a lot less railroaded.
Yeah, you know what? I'll back that.
And
yeah.
it made it, even if I had to do the exact same thing all the time, it was not nearly as difficult a thing to work with because it felt more open.
You know what? That's very, very fair.
And I've never played the pre-sequel or anything else. So I actually would love to play Borderlands 3. I just know that it's going to be one of those things where I'm not going to buy it for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, that's fine. You can buy the game whenever you buy the game when you're ready, man. You know? You
know what?
Yeah, whenever you're ready, man.
I will. Thank you.
You know what? You do you, buddy. Just because your opinions are wrong and you should feel wrong about them doesn't mean that you have to, you know? I'm giving you shit for literally no reason. I agreed with you.
I'm not
so.
giving
No,
you
it's honestly, it's just that I'm having a lot of trouble following the phrase of words you just said because
I can't read. I didn't listen to what Dan said.
I mean, honestly, Jackson's got the right idea.
I was just looking at,
Porn.
whatever. Yeah, I wish.
Listen, man, we all know what you do on this podcast. Listen, you have an aesthetic to uphold.
Goddamn right.
Speaking of, okay, this time
Actually-
I'm really going in. No, this time I'm really going in on it. Speaking of games
Go
at
off.
PAX,
Okay.
The one game that I did not expect to see, one of the games that I did not expect to see, and then immediately was losing my shit over, is a game called One Finger Death Punch.
Oh
yeah. So the game is, so you guys remember those old like Newgrounds stick fighter animations?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That we all saw as kids.
I totally
and as
never made
adults.
any.
Oh, did you?
I
was wanted to.
Not fondly.
Oh, I remember them very fondly. I loved them. Anyway, it is basically that put into that is the aesthetic choice on it, and the core gameplay mechanic is literally just the left arrow key or right arrow key, depending on which direction you're attacking in, and it's very like reactionary in like which direction you attack in, and it's very simple. It's a very simple game. I loved the first one. Let me just do a quick, since I still have Steam up, let me just quick check how many hours I dumped into it. The original one I dumped, right now it says 12, but I know that's a lot more because for the longest time I played it totally legitimately. And the game has no story to speak of. It doesn't, like, none of the things matter. It's literally just a great game for me to like sit down and unwind with for an hour or so at a time. And I got a free copy of it because they were giving out free copies of it at PAX, and that was one of the highlights of my PAX loot.
It's exciting.
It was exciting. I enjoyed it. I feel like there was, so no mention all the stuff he did at PAX. I have not been to PAX, right? It has been a long time since I've gone to any kind of con. The most recent con I went to was a Doctor Who convention at like the age of like 8, because my dad and I went because he had work in the city or whatever that happened to be in, and it was just like, well, we're gonna show up in this anyway. So it's been a long time. And I'd kind of forgotten. I'd forgotten a couple of things. I'd forgotten one, that they're the very specific. There are two types of people that go to cons. In my opinion, there are the people who are going to the con because they have to go to the con, whether that's for their person, like they have to, or they are hired to. Mm-hmm. And then there's the kind of people who go just to have fun with it. And I'd forgotten how wildly different those two groups are. And yet, like,
you forgot about the group who goes there to try and bang strangers.
Oh, I assume that is part of the have to go there.
Okay.
Like, I put like everyone from like vendors to hardcore neckbeards to all, that kind of thing. Those all go in the have to go there. The just for funds are I would consider like people like myself and Noah and stuff like that. And it's not to say that like there's necessarily anything wrong with being the kind of person who has to go there, but there is a specific like type. And like, it was just weird. It was weird. It was weird being reminded of that. The other thing that really surprised me is, compared to the internet as a whole, and maybe Noah, you had a different experience. The place was like wildly tolerant and diverse.
Yeah,
like
I actually saw a lot of representation.
Like a lot of representation, which was really fucking cool. I was talking with one of our friends who went, and like the thing that I noticed was the representation and this weird like kind of unspoken sense of community that everyone kind of had, at least in my experience.
Gross.
Dude, it was really cool. I just didn't expect it. It was a totally unexpected thing. But yeah, it was very cool to see. Like Noah, you didn't go, but the rest of a lot of us went to a couple of the one specifically was this panel of a bunch of veterans with who've had injuries and are and like that was, the whole panel was just on them and like how their experience with video games, and it was just really interesting. It was just cool. It was a very cool thing that I didn't expect to actually like have a sense of like, oh no, this is like people are just okay being people here. And like even the people who I was like, dude, for the love of God, put some fucking clothes on. You are not wearing that cosplay well. Even then, I was like, you know what though? At the end of the day, hashtag not my problem. They are doing the thing that they want to do. Mm-hmm. And that was cool.
And if I may, that's what it would look like in a world where gamers were allowed to rise up.
Oh shit, you're right. I will say, I'm not gonna give. I will say, fucking the Austin who was the person that I think both Noah and I are talking about. He and I would throw that around all the time, and it made me think of you. Made me wish you were there to remind me that we lived in a society where things were constantly happening.
Things are constantly happening.
Yeah, I made the mistake of someone on the way down or on the way up, I suppose, to Boston said we live in a society, and I'm just like, yeah, and things are constantly happening. And from that moment on, I was stuck with Austin saying that to me all weekend.
It was funny. Because it was funny.
How's it feel to get smoked, nerd?
Man, I don't even know.
Gamers rise up.
Gamers, please rise up. But
I can't wait for the gaming to buy my copy of the gaming chair that will allow me to stand, so I can truly rise up as a gamer.
That chair still makes you happy.
That is like the greatest article ever written.
Oh, it is very, 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 very good. Yeah, I had a great time. Wouldn't do it again just on the basis of I don't have the money to do again. And the one other regret I would have is that Noah and I only went for one day. We spent the rest of the other day hanging out in Boston and just doing things. Specifically, we went to the Boston Museum, which was really cool. Museum of Fine Art.
That was.
I hate art.
I know it's coarse and rough and irritating, and
I'm actually a fascist.
Oh shoot!
Oh shit!
I knew it.
Yeah, I hate.
We knew you
art
were a gamer.
and all forms of self-expression.
The only thing I was bummed out about with the art museum was that it was all older art and it wasn't a lot of modern art.
That's
and
not true.
I do love modern art.
We had that one area that was like all modern art.
Yes, but
you know what?
That
the
was
one that you couldn't look up in.
It was one that was a hallway.
Yeah, but like that was an entire region of the building that we just didn't.
I'm aware.
Okay.
But there was
aware.
like downstairs was not another art section, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, there was.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because we wanted to go look at the mummies.
I wanted to look at more. My issue with most fine arts museums is they are much more heavily geared toward older art, which the older art was gorgeous and I do not at all regret it. But personally, I am a very big fan of modern art. And I would always love to see more of that any chance I get.
I'm sorry, bud.
I do love modern art, but I also have the world's largest hard-on for any kind of romantic or Baroque era paintings or sculptures.
Yeah, my dude. See, I am a huge fan of, oddly, not necessarily the usual like paint, sculpture, that kind of thing. I'm a huge fan of like things like there was a bunch of furniture that was like pre-Victorian era furniture, which is really, and like that kind of like stuff that just had really wildly intricate carvings and stuff like that. That stuff is always really cool to me. And architecture, which I like. You can't really have. I mean, you kind of can, but you can't really have a museum of architecture.
It's true.
You sure about that?
You could try.
Gotta go see them things. Well, it's not the same. You know, they can be like here's the dimensions of the Parthenon. And you'd be like, all right, cool. Let me go see it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Although I will say that there was one room where they had so they had chopped an entire floor out of this Egyptian. No, Roman. It was Roman, wasn't it?
It was in the Roman room.
I can't remember. All I remember. Yeah, it would have had.
They called my bedroom in high
chopped
school.
a chunk of mosaic floor out of some Roman ruins.
And like chop the entire fucking thing up, transport the entire fucking thing here, and put it back in. Which I don't know. I just appreciate that. That's some effort, some kind of effort anyway.
No, that was really kind of neat because Roman history and Greek history, that was something that I did a lot of when I went through school and everything.
Yeah.
So it was neat to see a bunch of that kind of stuff in action.
I thought it was all really cool. I thought it was very, very neato. Would 10 out of 10 would Boston again. Although I will say the next time one of my friends ever fucking tries to tell me that an area of a town is sketch, I am not going to believe them until I see it myself. Because
Boston does have some sketch parts.
Oh, it absolutely does. We were not in a sketch part.
No.
At all.
Every part of Philadelphia is sketchier than most cities.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
actually, that is exactly what he said.
That is
like we got there and he's like, the guys that we went with were like, oh man, we better not walk around here at night. And it's like, okay.
I've never been to Philadelphia and felt safe at the same time. Those two things are impossible to do at once.
Honestly, understandable. And I get that. And that is more than fair. But also, you also don't didn't spend like half the day telling me, oh man, it's not safe. I don't know if it's going to be safe here, you guys.
Well, it's because they're probably from bumfuck nowhere.
No, they were
terrified
from
of the idea.
Worse. They were from fucking white suburbia.
Oh, that's the worst place you can be from.
It really is. If you're from white
it's like
suburbia,
you're just on the cusp of
being
a class traitor.
Yeah, man.
A class traitor. Ooh.
Yeah, that's been my phrase of like the month lately.
Is that a good phrase? I feel like you could have a better phrase.
Absolutely. No, a class traitor. It's an important phrase. Let's have a good, more important.
Is it?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're a class traitor, you're the lowest of the low. You know, it's like if you grow up poor and you make $1 million and you're like, haha, now I'm rich. Fuck poor people. You're like the scummiest of all people.
I mean, that's fair.
That sounds about right. Dan, you better not do that.
I'm gonna
If
do
you're
it.
a class trader,
Oh,
you're
boy,
the
I'm
worst
about
thing
to
you
do
can
it.
be. That's why the most important thing you can do is make sure to try and spread your wealth evenly, however possible, among your community.
And you know a really good way to learn to spread your wealth evenly among your community?
Oh no.
Read Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto on Audible using the link audibletrial.com/off-the-air.
I wasn't going to say Karl Marx, but you know what? That is exactly where you do need
my
to
man
go.
Karl Marx said that the sum of your liquid assets is the sum of your experiences not gained. That's all I'm saying. Don't be a hoarder. We're all dying one way or another.
You know what? One of the things that bugs me is like guys like him had some really decent statements, but then also no, you know?
Sure, bud.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. Mao Zedong is right and infallible and truly the most honorable chairman.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay.
What? I'm sorry, what?
That's Mao Zedong was a Chinese communist, and Maoism is you can be like a Maoist. It's like a type of he's a very bad man who did very bad things to his own people.
Yeah, he was the one that made you walk around with his little red book, right?
He made you do everything, and then he killed you usually. And he insisted on being called the most honorable chairman instead of dictator or emperor.
I do remember
Because
that.
that way he was like the chairman of the Chinese government,
And not
and
a
at
bad
that
guy.
the most honorable chairman.
And not
I mean,
the villain.
Well, how could you be a bad person and the most honorable person?
Are we the baddies?
Are we the bad guys?
That is
Likely.
very good.
Likely story. Also, I'm really glad last week people got my reference to sometimes things that are expensive are worse.
I didn't
that a
get that
reference to
reference.
something?
I didn't.
It is the greatest about 1 minute and 30 seconds of ever to be put on YouTube.
I don't.
And then I read them
That's
a
a
monologue.
claim.
And early work from the master, Cameron Diaz.
Oh.
It's so funny. I said, boys,
That is a claim.
Hollywood has a race problem. Yes, a racism problem. Ooh.
Dang.
And they high five.
I am so confused.
I don't really know what's going on. I'm
just talking about
far too
Karl
tired.
Marx.
I'm sorry.
So
you're
yeah,
good.
like we said, we are all a little bit sleepy. I am still
I'm not.
recovering because I made a brilliant decision and got
jean
went out
jacket.
with friends. I went out with friends last
Oh.
night.
That would have been cool.
And
though.
because it was last night,
Oh my
everyone was hanging out
gosh.
together.
I did too.
Weird, because I said friends.
You have made everything worse.
Classic Dan.
No, not you. I was talking about Noah when he did the chirping sound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Is that
no,
what that was
you don't have
supposed
to
to
do it
be?
again.
That was supposed to be-
That's what you sound like you're doing.
I was
I'm
gonna
sorry
say
that
that
you hate
I didn't realize
crickets.
it was supposed to be a chirping sound. I'll be honest.
I don't hate crickets.
No, I'm talking to Dan.
I mean, I don't. I just hate you.
your cricket sound. Oh.
Not you, Jackson.
No, I mean, that's not the problem was that you hate Noah.
I mean, Noah should just be better. What is this episode, you guys? Yeah,
It's
PAX
been
is
pretty
great.
good so
good
far,
time.
and then you guys
Yeah,
PAX
talked
is
about
great.
PAX,
PAX is
and
a
I
great
had nothing to
time.
contribute.
I would do it again. Noah had a great time at PAX. All of our friends. No, a couple of our friends came. We were gonna do a live episode or an episode, just in person. And on the day of, I decided I was gonna take a nap after riding in the car for 5 hours, and we did not because we are terrible. And by we, I mean me. Although I will also say Noah had the opportunity to wake me up at any point and chose not to exercise that right.
I distinctly didn't, but you know what?
You
Believe what you
did.
like.
You distinctly did, but it's okay. I forgive you. So when there's no live episode, it's Noah's fault. Just so you all are aware.
God damn it, Noah.
See,
Also, there should be some more live episodes coming to you pretty soon once I move up north, because Noah and I will not be far apart.
That's
that is
true.
true. That is very, very true. Which I'm
We can set up
really
a joint
excited for you
recording
guys.
studio in one of the spare rooms in my house,
I mean, we can. Yeah, why not?
because we'll have a whole bunch of spare rooms.
I'm really
That's
excited
true.
for you guys.
So-
It's gonna be such a great fucking time. I'm not excited for the fact that I will not be there, but that's okay. I will survive.
I believe.
I believe.
And speaking of my moving up north, you guys ever? What's the longest car ride you've been on? And I'm not saying I'm out in one day, but total, what's the longest trip you've taken via car?
Probably down into the Houston area from north past Erie County.
You drove
Okay,
from
yeah, so
Houston.
just-
Yeah, I didn't, but yes, I rode to Houston because I don't know if you're aware, Noah, but when you are poor and transporting more than one person, driving is a better alternative to flying,
It's true.
especially if you have any amount of crap that you want to carry with you, or if you're taking a child, because fuck
Yeah, we did
children
drive
on
a lot.
airplanes.
For real. No, don't.
I mean, don't, but also.
No, wait.
Wait, no, shit. Fuck.
Noah, how about you? What's the longest car trip you've ever taken?
It was a little over 10 hours. We went down to North Carolina.
Okay, so Dan is actually, he made a very similar journey to the one I'll be making.
Yep.
His is probably about 2 hours longer. Actually, mine's going to be longer because I'm going from New Orleans to Pennsylvania.
Nolans.
Nowlands.
A house.
It's going to be over the course of like 4 days, though. So,
I mean, it's going to be fun, though. I'm excited for you.
yeah, it's going to be like a 25, 26 hour drive.
Gross.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go from New Orleans to Austin on one day, which is like 8 hours. So I'm just going to chill like in the place I'm living right now for the night.
Mhm.
And then make sure like all my stuff is like sent up and like good to go. And then I'm going to go from Austin to Memphis because that's about 9-10 hours. So that'll be like, a good 2/3 of the drive done by the time I get to Memphis. And just going to kind of take it easy there and then like spend the night in a hotel. And the next day go and hang out in Memphis, see like Graceland and stuff.
Mhm.
Just do some sightseeing.
Very cool.
And then go from Memphis to Louisville, where I'm going to stop outside of Louisville. And the next day I'm going to go to a whole bunch of like bourbon distilleries or maybe just like one or two. I don't know.
A whole bunch. Alternatively, maybe only one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many I really want to go to,
That's
or how far
very,
apart they
very,
are.
very, very fair. Yeah, I get that.
So go from like, go to like where they make like Knob Creek is the one I'm going to be looking for the most.
Mhm.
And then go from there to Pennsylvania and then I'll be home.
Hey.
Nice.
And I have a friend of mine from work who's going to actually be coming up with me on the trip. And then they're just going to fly down.
Shout out to work
One
friends
way.
who are like decent people and are willing to like make big dumb drives.
Yeah.
Is
I mean,
that
it's
something
kinda
you
like
wanna be proud of?
I'm pretty sure they're going to have fun with it too. 'Cause it's like 3 days of like, I think we're going to stop and like hang out in cities and stuff.
Nice. And yeah,
Is that
Dan,
a-
that's something to be proud of. I would love to have a coworker that I could have go on a giant stupid car trip with me instead of
Hold
making
up.
fun of me for getting a nose piercing,
To be fair,
which is distinctly
you did-
what he does all the time now.
To be fair, you did get a nose piercing.
And I love it.
I'm glad it
good
makes
job.
you happy.
It does.
I got a jean jacket and it makes me happy. So
See?
you and me both, Noah.
Yeah, you got to take your victories where you can get them. I didn't get a jean
Precisely.
jacket, so I
So you got
I got my
nose
nose
piercing.
pierced. And you know what? It may not be as nice, but it still makes me happy.
You know what? And that's what it's really all about. That's why we do this, because it makes us happy. Except for Jackson. Jackson does it because he has nothing better to do.
That's absolutely 100% correct.
Also, I did want to point this out, by the way. This is unrelated to anything, but over the weekend, this is something I meant to bring up, Dan. You a lot of times like to make Erie out to be like this dumb little city that like has like 30 people living in it.
No,
and all of
Erie's
them are like
not.
racist little butts.
I
No,
mean,
but
that part is accurate.
that part is accurate. But you like to say all these things about how much Erie sucks, but Erie is the third largest city in Pennsylvania. And
That's because the other two are. That's because the alternative is what? Harrisburg?
Philly and Pittsburgh.
Philly
What,
and
are you
Pittsburgh.
No,
kidding
that's the
me?
thing. After three. After three. Like I'm saying
Okay, I
number
was
four.
like-
What's number four? Harrisburg, right?
yes.
Scranton or Reading, I would guess.
Oh,
I think-
Scranton or
I
Reading
think
is
it's
also
Harrisburg.
solid. I can look it up. We live
Hershey's
in
up there.
Hershey's kind of like a bleed off into Harrisburg, isn't it? They're really
It
close.
actually is, yeah.
I would say, yeah, probably Harrisburg underneath, just because it's got like the capital population, which is
Allentown
always
is
at least-
actually bigger.
Okay.
Noah, you are incorrect.
Well, Allentown's a
Yeah,
huge
so you
college
get,
town, though, so that's not.
You got Philly, you got Pittsburgh, you got Erie, you got Allentown, then you
Nope.
got
Nope.
uh,
You got Allentown, then Erie. But yes, keep going.
Allentown. Oh, Allentown's bigger now.
Allentown is 121. Erie is 97.
Good for them.
Erie.
But then
I
you
am going to point out Erie is now under 100,000 people
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
because
poor
Erie is
Erie.
a
Used to
dying
be-
town full of nothing but sadness and broken dreams. And this is
I don't
the
mind
kind
it,
of.
actually.
I feel like this is the exact kind of thing you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to see your
You
point.
have this like super negative outlook on this town that makes it sound like it's as tiny as where I live now with as little going on,
I
which is
mean,
distinctly false.
There are plenty of things to do in Erie.
There
Yeah.
are plenty of things to do in Erie. The problem is that most of the things to do in Erie are involve bars or churches.
Not accurate though. There's a lot
Again,
of
I
other things.
big disagree because I did a lot of fun stuff when I was growing up there, and I was not
That
able
is
to go to
fair. I
bars.
also did not have a childhood. We've established this.
Also,
Yeah.
Erie is surprisingly well laid out.
I mean,
Like I'm looking at it in
that's
Google Maps right now, and it's
fair.
actually really smoothly laid out.
That is fair. I will give you that. Well, because it was laid out, it existed because we needed a city on the lake for business purposes. So it makes sense that like it would be very like laid out with a specific purpose.
Mhm.
Unlike Philadelphia,
Yeah,
which
Erie's
grew completely organically because it's a shithole. That's not true. I love this place.
About this city. Honestly, I am in the past like 6 or 7 months, I have lost quite a bit of my enjoyment of Austin.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's the city itself is so artificial feeling, you know? And it's it's like it's trying really hard to be like something. Like, you know, you got like all it's kind of like the bridesmaid for everything.
Uh-huh.
It's like really good live music, but not the best locations. Like really good you know, food for Texas, but that's just for Texas. It's just kind of like it's like third or fourth best in a lot of things. It's like pretty good city for game developers, but not as good as like Vancouver or Seattle or you know anywhere in California.
Right.
So it's like it's just it's like playing fourth best, and it's getting a lot of people moving there just because it's slightly cheaper than all those other places.
It's fair.
And it's like the whole city motto is like keep Austin weird, but like
That's a bad
all
motto.
that all that means is just like
They stole Portland's motto?
I think Portland stole their motto actually.
Huh.
But yeah, I don't know, it just feels weird because it's like this like weird clash of like a whole bunch of, you know, liberal people moving to Austin and making Austin like a blue city, but at the same time it's still Texas and there's still a whole bunch of backlash from locals who are now mad. And so you got like you can be part of two groups. The group of like people from California who transplanted here and are now like, oh my God, keep Austin weird. It's so wacky. Let's go take pictures by all the murals. Or you can be like a disgruntled Texan who hates everyone who ever moves here, even though the city is constantly having people move here and it's growing at a rapid rate. So you can like choose to settle in and be angry, or you can choose to be from California. And I don't know what I want to do, but I'm moving anyway, so it's not a big deal.
There you go.
So it no longer matters.
Exactly. Well, plus it's one of those things where like living in any major city, but not super major city, you know, like New York City, if there's like New York Comic-Con, New York City isn't like, okay, everybody get ready, we're going to get hit by a lot of stuff, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
Because if an extra 20,000 people come to New York City, nothing changes.
Yeah.
But like Austin's like, okay, here's South by Southwest. It's a 2-week-long festival that draws like tens of thousands of people, and it will completely blow up every single tourist location and every single restaurant in the whole goddamn city
Yeah, that's
for
fair.
2 weeks. So it's like, it's just kind of shitty not being able to actually, like, I did not see a single thing at South by Southwest.
Dang.
That's sad.
Yeah, and it's a 2-week-long because I worked every single day for like 10 hours.
Yeah, that makes you sad. I don't like that. You should have
I have never seen a live show at ACL because I worked every single day for 12 hours of ACL with the inability to get a day off because of how busy everything was. So like you might as well just live outside of Austin and then just come here for the events and be like everyone else. That way you don't have to work.
I mean, you still have to work, just not.
Yeah, but like you can, you know, take a holiday.
Yeah, I get you.
So that's like I'm actually like weirdly excited to be like, oh cool, now I can come down to Austin for South by Southwest for like a week.
Yeah.
And I'll know people and hang out at places, but I won't have to have the problem of not being able to take time off because there's never a busy season for Erie.
Yeah, that's true.
What's like half true? Apparently, Erie actually like that like Elk Creek Township has some of the best fishing in the world.
And it has
I did not know that
best
until
sunset
recently.
in the country, if I remember correctly.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's not, as a general rule, good sunsets come from pollution, but that is not so much the case with Erie since we don't have as
Nice.
many factories anymore. Not active ones, at least.
Yeah. Speaking of active polluters, class traders and anyone who has ever contributed to any form of garbage being
Yeah.
created. Also, I'm only putting those things together because I recently learned of a concept called eco-fascism.
Eco-fascism?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. No. Let me just read it out for you because it is so insane that I have got to just read it out. So you guys are familiar with eco-terrorism, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, eco-terrorism is kind of like, let's say there's a whole bunch of people who are going to be cutting down this like big, like the oldest tree in the world.
Yeah.
Eco-terrorism would be like you go and you like cut all the wires inside their machines or like, you know, blow up one of their trucks. Like you don't kill people usually, but you will like cause acts of like, you know,
Yeah. Terrorism.
disturbance for the public. Acts
Domestic-
of terrorism.
Yeah, domestic terrorism.
But, you know, under the guise of helping the environment. It's eco-terrorism.
Yes.
Eco-fascism
Oh, no.
is not real. First, let me just phrase. It is like a panopticon.
Ooh,
Which we'll
that's
talk
a
about another
fun
day.
word. I like
It's
that.
one of my favorite words. Panopticism is great. All right, so let me just read to you the Wikipedia description of ecofascism. Ecofascism is a theoretical political model in which a totalitarian government would require individuals to sacrifice their own interest to the organic whole of nature, and
my
which would
gosh.
rely on militarism, expansionism, and possibly racism to defend the land.
Is the worst thing I've heard all day.
I love the idea of like, hey man, you know, like the ocean's filling up with trash. let's go kill someone because of their race.
I mean, to be fair, you could make the argument that it could just be a fascist government racist against white people, and like that might actually help. But that's hysterical, and I love it.
No,
it's a joke. It was a joke, Noah. Before you get on me about it, it was a joke.
it's a bad joke.
So Dan's an eco-fascist.
That's what I'm picking up on.
I think my computer's shutting down.
What was that?
Nope. Just went to sleep. I thought my computer shut down for a second there because like everything just went black. But it just went to sleep for whatever reason.
Jackson, because you passed out for a second.
Maybe it's time we bring this to a close.
I think everything went black because it was trying to say, hey, it's time for us to go to bed.
Yeah.
Or for everyone else to end the episode.
I'm about to go out after this. So.
I'm gonna go drink myself into a coma.
I'm gonna just fall asleep.
Nice.
Because I'm a normal person.
One of these things is not call. Like the other.
So I'm Noah. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram as Bubbadabad, Bubbadabad. I talk, I tweet, I do some stuff. Jackson, what about you?
I talk and I dance and I do my pants.
I've been tweeting a little bit more.
You've been tweeting.
Tweeted about Ford Truck Month the other day. Rest in peace. Mm-hmm. I've been tweeting out some fire tweets lately. So, stay posted. See what happens.
It's true. You have been.
Twitter.com.
It has been pretty hot.
Thank you. It's at Jacksonium with 2 M's. And that's pretty much that. There's also my Tumblr. Same username. You can find me there. I post a lot about eco-fascism, class dynamics, and identity politics.
I mean, who doesn't?
Me?
Fair.
All right, Dan. What do you do then?
Mostly just work on a senior thesis project that's going nowhere. Everything's fine, guys. Don't worry about it. You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/bornrule27, on Twitch at twitch.tv/bornrule, and on Instagram at bornrule, which I've actually been, I can't remember I think it's just at bornrule. We'll put it in the show notes. Damn it, I was so close. It's been a while since I plugged my Instagram because I haven't been using it, but I finally decided that I probably should try and get back on the Instagram game. There we go. Nope, fucked it up. Got it there. It's fine.
Anyway, you can find the podcast at twitter.com/theofftheair, facebook.com/OTA podcast, and patreon.com/offtheair. And if you can't contribute monetarily, totally fine, totally understandable. We do request that, hey, just share us with your friends or help us out with that iTunes algorithm. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
It does help. We appreciate it.
It really does. Make Apple work for us. Anything that buries my review where I accidentally referred to us as a podcast is a good thing. So
okay, actually, if that's what we're talking about, no, actually, please don't support us because I appreciate that and I want it to be the top.
Everyone else can also call it a podcast.
Or you go there and like whatever review system they have for comments, you do that. And make sure that comment alone gets put up way in the top where it belongs. This is a good episode, you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Dan. We'll catch you next time.
I'm an eco-fascist.
Bye, guys.